Right. So should we ask about?
I love arsing about. So, what's the first area? Or what does R stand for again? Audio audio recapping of
Audibly
significant.
recapping significant
So,
events.
what's the first significant events we need to recap? Because I seen a really, really cool Instagram post on Slicks. That was a slick tire, really nice photo with Slicks written on it. And then,
Mm,
so have you got an event coming?
I have got an event. I'm collaborating with Peaceful Research, which is a brand that sort of intersects design and motorsport and contemporary art.
Mhm.
And they have done some pieces on their own and custom bonnet designs and gloves and things like that. Sort of, making imagine 90s touring cars, with the branding, but sort of bringing it into the modern day and sort of putting their spin on things like that. So they reached out and asked if I wanted to collaborate on a as yet revealed project that will be on display in Manchester the final week of March. So as of recording, the end of this week. Um,
Nice. I'm on
so
their
I'll be there.
I'm on their Instagram right now, and I'm like, I like their vibe. This is cool.
Yeah, I like their vibe a lot. So when they reached out, I knew of them a little bit, and I thought this is just right up my street. This,
Definitely giving them a follow right now. That BMW E1, E21, sorry, that they've got, that is gorgeous in that livery.
the white one.
Yeah, the white, it's got the kind of orange and black kind of highlights on it. Just
Mm,
such a nice looking car, and obviously a lot of sponsors on it that are designed to look like sponsors we're all familiar with, but are
yeah,
actually slightly off. And really, really like that. That is very, very cool.
yeah. So that's a 2 day exhibition in Manchester, um, where I'll be there, and there's been a fresh print run of issue two. So there'll be a very, very limited amount of issue two copies on sale there. There'll be music, there'll be drinks, there'll be um, good vibes. So I'm excited for that. It's my first exhibition, and it's some quite cool art kind of collaboration, which is really cool. And it's the kind of thing I'd like to be involved in more in the future. So yeah, I can't complain.
And whereabouts in Manchester is it being held?
So it's free,
Mhm.
first of all, free entry. Um, so it is Saturday, the 28th of March, 4 until 8 p.m. And then Sunday, the 29th of March, 11 until 4 p.m. And it's at Daily Spaces Studio on Poland Street in Manchester.
Nice.
M46BN. That is Mike 46 Bravo November.
You just need to put "Hey Siri" in front of that to get all the voice assistants
Yeah.
giving you directions straight away.
And I will be there. I think, yeah, I will be there. I don't know what I was going to say. I think I will be there.
Nice.
And it should be good. Free entry, great tunes, some goodies. There are some goodies that may be given away. Who knows?
And you said there's an unannounced thing that is happening there.
Th- There is a thing. The thing we're collaborating on is a thing that isn't public knowledge yet, but it will be the feature of the exhibition.
Oh, I like a bit of a tease. We need to come back to
Mm,
this post exhibition and talk about it.
we do. Yes. So it may be out on Insta by the time you're hearing this. This will probably out on Thursday, so a couple days before the exhibition. Um, but yeah, if you're available in Manchester, Saturday afternoon into the evening or Sunday, uh, come say hi and see the exhibition, please. Uh, I'll be polite.
And there's somebody I do know in Manchester, Jess. If you're listening to this, then it will not be far from you. So go and see this at the weekend. Motorsport stuff near Manchester, you don't get that very often. So I'm
There
kinda
you go.
gutted I can't be there because it is a good 4-hour, 5-hour drive for me. Because everything is a 4 or 5-hour drive for me at the very least, so,
Therefore, if everything's a 4 or 5-hour drive, Dave, it's surely not an excuse.
it is with the current fuel prices. I don't think
That's
I don't
fair.
think I can afford a
Yeah.
4-minute drive. I drove to Tesco this morning to fill my car and was very disappointed that Tesco had no fuel at all. So I had to go to
Oh,
the BP.
really?
Yeah, and I don't know if that's just coincidence or if there's genuinely a
What
problem.
what were you charged per
Eh,
litre?
well, Tesco was going to charge me £1.40 per litre, which I realise is cheap compared to what England has. And I drove to the BP station when it did have fuel, and I was charged £1.55 per litre, and I almost cried.
It's crazy.
I know.
That is it's stupid.
There will be
I was absolutely amazed. So I'm in the middle of securing a new fixed term for a mortgage,
mhm.
and apparently Iran affects my mortgage.
Yeah, I don't know how.
That doesn't seem fair.
No, no, it doesn't, and I know in the grand scheme of things, what's fair and what's not fair in this war, where we're kind of the least problematic,
Well, I
but,
can tell
like
you what isn't fair. Iran affecting my mortgage. That's unfair. I could that's I could tell you that plain and simpler.
Yeah. Yeah, fair, and now I'm driving to less races because the fuel is just obscenely expensive, and the racing line does
Yeah.
not quite have the budget to, pay for my fuel everywhere, otherwise it would, be running in a
Maybe
negative.
this is maybe this is big EV trying to push their cars.
It is, but they're not gonna get any money out of me, unfortunately, because as much as I think an EV would be very useful for me, when my nearest drive to Silverstone is, like, 300 miles, it's not the most appropriate, and then I park it in a car park that I
No.
can't charge it there, so I'd have to stop and charge it on the way. And I don't have a driveway I can charge it in, so I would have to
Mm.
pay consumer rates out at a charging station, and Scotland's charging network is not as well built out as England's is currently. So people think I'm against EVs. I'm not. I'm just it doesn't fit what I need a car to actually do at
Doesn't
the
fit your
moment.
lifestyle, and that's
No,
fine.
and don't get me wrong.
That's also
I'd
why I don't drive around in the Luton van because it doesn't fit my lifestyle. I don't
I'd
need it.
don't get me wrong. I'd love a Taycan. If anybody's listening and would like to donate a Taycan to me, I'm
Yeah.
more than
If the
happy to
Porsche press
receive it.
team are listening,
If the Porsche press team are listening, we do reviews, and a 911 Targa would be very, very good.
yeah.
I can do a thorough drive on the way to Switzerland and
Mm.
back, take it up some Alps. Like, I will give you a proper review of the 911
Thorough.
Targa.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah, if anybody from Porsche is listening and you'd like a collaboration with the Racing Line, then Dave at theracingline.app, that's how you'll find me.
There you go. And if you don't trust Dave with his drivings, which I haven't actually seen Dave's driving, how are you? Are you a good driver, Dave?
I think everybody thinks they're a good driver, though. Nobody turns around and goes, I'm a terrible driver.
No, but they should.
Well, put it this way, a good friend of mine loaned his Aston Martin to me and allowed me to drive it not only to Goodwood, but to Switzerland and back. And
That does speak
it,
volumes.
it
I
did,
don't know if that speaks volumes for them trusting you or for you and your ability, but
he famously doesn't get stressed at anything. When he did a skydive,
mm,
his feeling was it was a bit cold. So, like, it was maybe gonna raise his heart rate a little bit giving me his Aston
mm,
Martin. There were a couple of
yeah.
tight calls when we were in Italy, but, but
See, a skydive, like the temperature is like a byproduct of falling through the sky.
yeah, that didn't bother him. I think
No,
me driving his Aston Martin might have bothered him a little bit more because there was a couple of times we were in Italy and it was very, very tight roads because we weren't quite planned.
was he passenger?
He was in the car behind in his Mercedes. So he was able to commentate to me via a handheld radio how close I was to the barrier on the right hand side at one point and how close the vehicle to my left was. And that was the first time I'd ever heard him stressed. But the, the Aston didn't touch anything. It's fine. It got to Switzerland and back without a problem. It got to Goodwood and back without a problem. So am I a good driver? I'm good enough to drive a sports car up the Alps, apparently. So,
Yeah.
Porsche, if
Say
you're
no more.
listening and you'd like some free publicity on Instagram and the Racing Line
Mm.
app, because, Porsche always need publicity, then my email
Oh yeah,
inbox is
they're
open.
quite lacking in publicity.
Oh, yeah, nobody knows what a Porsche is, but you give one to
No
me
one has
and
one.
I will put Porsches in the hands of the people.
There you go, Porsche. If you want someone to not quite, but push the limits of of space with your car,
I
Dave at the racing
I
line
will
app.
find out the exact gap that a 911 fits through.
There you
Put it
go.
that way.
I'll take anything. Dacia, if you're listening. I'll take a Duster. I'm not fussy, but not a Spring, not a Dacia Spring. Jesus,
I quite like those. I'd drive a Dacia Spring.
it's got casters for wheels.
I'm all right with that.
And do you know they come from factory on Linglong tires,
Oh, it's even better. I had a Fiesta
which is
once that didn't
hilarious.
even have branded tires. It just had Chinese lettering on it. There wasn't even an
Just
English
it just
translation.
says tire.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I crashed it because the real tires. Well, yeah, if we're talking about if I'm a good driver or not, I have crashed a Fiesta.
yeah. And then you proceed to talk about a crash.
Yeah, did I tell that story on this? Or
No,
I
I didn't know you binned it.
I had a black Fiesta, quite an old one, and it had unbranded tires on the rear. And I was going round a roundabout, not particularly fast, and it was slightly wet, and the rear end just
Mm.
slid out, and I bumped it lightly into a barrier, broke the bumper and the headlight. And I was like, "Yeah, no problem. We'll take it to a body shop and get the bumper and headlight replaced." Like nothing bad had really happened. So I took it to the body shop and said, "Bumped the headlight and the bumper. Can you fix that?" And they're like, "Yeah, no problem." So they phoned me up a few days later and went, "Did you crash this?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah, that's why it's there. Like, it didn't just combust or fall
Yeah, it
apart.
wasn't
Like,
a
it
yeah.
didn't disintegrate in your yard." And they were like, "No, no, have you really crashed this car before?" And I'm like, "No, I just bumped the bumper." And they're like, "All right, this car's been in a crash, a big one." And I was like,
Ooh.
"What?" And they're like, "Yeah, the crash structure at the front is all pushed back and moved." And I'm like, "Well, the car before this, the car was owned by my brother." So I phoned my brother and I was like, "Did you crash the Fiesta?" And there was a bit of a pause and he went, "Yeah." I was, I was like, how did you hide this?" And he was like, "Yeah, don't tell dad that I did that." So it'd already been pre-crashed before I got it. But anyway, broke the bumper and the headlight, got it fixed, drove to work on the Monday with the fresh headlight, fresh bumper. And on the way to work, I hit a deer and I broke the bumper and the new headlight, not the other one, the new headlight. And I had to take it back to the same body shop. And they were like, "I thought we fixed that." And I was like, "Yeah, shut up. Just fix it again." I'm now on my third bumper in 3 days and my third headlight in 3 days. So and they did tell me the fact that the tires on the back were unbranded, had done 100,000 miles with nowhere at all. Still full tread, nowhere at all means there was
They
zero
were just
grip.
plastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it passed an MOT because the MOT checks for like, is it worn? No. Does it have cracks in the sidewall? No. It looks fine. But it's probably because it was solid wood with some black paint on it.
Yeah,
So
quite
that is
possibly.
the only time I have crashed a car, was that.
You hit a deer?
Yeah, well, I hit a deer and then I was standing at the side of the road duct taping my bumper back so I could finish the journey so that it didn't, like, get destroyed underneath the front of the car. And then,
I thought you were gonna say you were duct taping the deer back together.
well,
Is the deer alright?
Well, as I was doing that, a farmer in a pickup truck came along and saw the dead deer on the road and pointed to it and
Oh,
went, "Do you want that?" And I'm like, "No, no, I don't want that."
that's his tea sorted.
He wasn't concerned with the fact that my car's hanging bits off it. There was no offer for help. He was just, "Are you interested in that
Wasn't
deer?"
concerned the deer had a Ford badge sort of
Wedged in its
indented
forehead,
into it.
yeah.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
so he chucked the deer in the back of his pickup and drove off whilst I'm still taping up my car at the side of the road in the
I
middle of
love
the,
that.
not the Scottish Highlands, but a small country road on the way to a
Mm.
town called Montrose. So yeah, that's the only time I've crashed a car.
We almost hit, Bambi's family in Sweden.
Excellent.
We, I think I mentioned this.
I don't think you did.
The driver went, "Oh, you have to be careful around these roads because there can be deer and moose." And I thought, "Yeah, sure there's moose." Um, then about 10 minutes down the road, it was quiet, and this driver, in a very Swedish manner, went, "Moose!" And there was just three. I don't know why I said Bambi because Bambi's not a moose. Um, but
They're
yeah,
huge,
anyway,
those
tell
things, aren't
me,
they?
Dave, they are huge, they are massive. What arse activity have you been engaging in?
So I think last time we were on this, I complained about how difficult it was to do promo codes and affiliate systems because of various restrictions from Google and Apple. Well, the good news is I've rolled my own system. I now have a working affiliate system. The idea being that if you're somebody who's listening and you have a platform and you have listeners, readers, viewers, however you want to do it, I can generate you a promo code. that is relevant to you. So, for example, one of the promo codes we're using is for there's a promo code for our channel, and the promo code is Roadster. We can give you a promo code like that. And then every time somebody signs up and moves into a paid subscription, you get 25% of the sign up revenue. So, for example, if the revenue is, or the price that somebody pays is £8.99, which is what it is for a year in the UK, then you will get 25% of that. That obviously varies per currency. If somebody in Japan signs up, it's a different currency, so you get 25% of the sale price in Japan. It's same with America, things like that. Just for full transparency, the reason it's 25%, and because somebody asked me, is like, why is it capped at that? It's like, because it can't actually go higher, because this is the unsaid bit about app subscriptions is if you subscribe to the Racing Line for $8.99 a year, Google and Apple take their cut first, which can be 30% on a bad day, 15% under certain conditions. VAT is actually included in the $8.99. So immediately I'm down to about 50% of what you actually see is what I get. Then I'm
Mm.
giving away 25% of that to the promo code owner. So each sale only ends up with me getting 25%. And if I cut any more than that, then I'll be making a loss, because it's obviously cost money to run this kind of system. So I'm hoping, and it's people see it as a generous kind of number, because a lot of them are a lot less generous than that. But yeah, if you're interested in being part of the affiliate system, you can go on the Racing Line website and go to the footer. There's an affiliate link application form that you can fill in. And it basically just says your name, what channels you've got, and it just asks the channel so that I can generate your relevant promo code. Basically, anybody can be part of it. If you think you can shift some codes, then you can make 25% of the revenue that you see on the App Store. So um, it is working. It is launched. I've not fully contacted all of the channel owners and Instagram owners that I'd like to speak to, because there's a lot of people that I follow that have got really awesome channels, and I'd love them to be part of it. So as I test it further and just confirm it's all definitely working, I'll start contacting others and get them in, and hopefully be a nice bit of growth. Because again, when people find the app, they're really happy. It's just really hard to get it in front of people. So we'll try doing it this way, as you know from Slicks.
Preach it, sister.
Yeah.
Preach it.
Turns out marketing's hard.
S
Who knew?
Yeah, a little bit. So is this automatic then, or are you giving yourself more admin?
There's currently a bit of admin involved. The actual tracking of the codes is automatic, so I can see the data on what codes have been used, and I can see how much money I'm going to owe each user at the end of it.
Mhm.
But right now, it will be just me on a set day going through a bunch of emails, me PayPaling this person, bank transferring this person, that sort of thing. I will eventually automate that, but as you can imagine, it's like when you actually think about it, system like that, where you're dealing with
It's
bank
quite
stuff.
complex. Yeah.
Yeah, and you gotta be really careful when it comes to bank stuff. What happens if I send the wrong money to the wrong people or something like that? Like, it becomes a big problem, so you gotta be really sensitive, and you're dealing with people's bank details. Like, I need to be really careful with that, because I don't want to be one of those companies that you see in a data leak one day where they're like, "Oh, it turns out we didn't store any of your details correctly. I'm sorry." I don't want to be that person. I want to store everything correctly. So, it
But
will.
don't you know controversy is, controversy creates clicks. That's the 3 Cs.
Well, I had to take out, what is it they call it? Identity theft protection at
Mm.
one point, because Arnold Clark leaked everybody's details because they were storing it all in Excel files or something on people's desktops, and it all got leaked. So they gave me a complimentary code for, I think it's Experian that I've got that system of, but the code didn't work. And then being Arnold Clark, I could never get into it anyway, so I had to just take it out myself. And I don't want to be in that position of having to recommend people. Maybe take out some fraud detection stuff because I've leaked all your details. So I will do it manually until I can be 100% sure that what I am doing is secure. And I will probably bring in a security expert to vet everything that I'm doing, because as soon as I'm dealing with bank details, there's no messing
Gets a
around.
bit scary.
It
Yeah.
does a bit. So it
It
is.
gets a bit serious
I
then, yeah.
and I'd rather do it manually until then. I'd rather
Mm.
I keep everything in a secure vault, in one password, so it's all secure that way. Um, and I will do it manually until I can be sure that I am automating it correctly. So all manual right now, all admin, but that's fine, especially if it brings me some growth and it makes motorsport easier to watch and it makes people happier.
All saved under the password Dave123.
I
course.
was thinking like my actual password would be the racing line 1, and then when it expires in 30 days, I'll just increment that to 2. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
I'll be
That's
on
all
a
you need.
Post-it note on I could put it on a Post-it note behind me if you want as well, just leak my
Yeah, of
passwords then.
course. Well, the good thing is no one will know what iteration you're on other than you.
Yeah, you just keep going through the numbers, it'll be fine. You'll eventually get it.
Just go numerically, it's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah, yeah, no
Maybe
issues.
change an L for a 1 or something, I don't know.
And then when I get hacked, I'll add an exclamation mark to the end. That's what everybody does.
That's classic, yeah. But that's good though, that's good that you've got it set up, and are we able to talk about British GT next week?
Yeah, so hopefully by the time you hear this, depending on when you hear it, we'll be at Silverstone next week, won't we? Tuesday for British GT Media Day. Now shared with Janetta, now that SRO are running the Janetta stuff over there. So that's quite exciting. There's at least 2 cars, 3 cars actually, that will have Racing Line stickers on it that day with Jamie Coddle's Janetta, Andrew Robinson's Janetta Jr., and the British GT4 Century, British GT4 Jack Collins, BMW has got a Racing Line, I was going to say sticker, but it's not. It's part of the wrap, so it's slightly different, which is really awesome. And
That's
hopefully
cool.
by the end of that day, there will be slick stickers on some race cars as well, which will be very cool.
Absolutely. Which I've seen and they look fabulous.
Yes, thank you to Sim and Jenny for making those. They're also the people that made the Racing Line stickers as well, and they will probably listen to this podcast. So thank you for producing those. They will hopefully end up on a bunch of race cars by this time
That's
next
cool.
week.
I hope they listen. Someone's gotta listen to it, haven't they?
Yeah, we should probably talk about listening numbers at some point, shouldn't we? I don't actually know what the
Probably.
stats are. It
Maybe not on air, but,
No, is it just me and you talking to each other? Is that what it is?
uh, yeah, I don't actually upload this anywhere.
Oh, that's fair enough then. Oh, we'll just schedule coffee chats then. It's going to get way more
Yeah.
inappropriate if I think nobody's listening.
Yeah, that's true. But, yeah, we should discuss that. But, yes, thank you for the stickers. They're gonna look cool. I think I'm putting one on Jamie's car, I think.
That's going to be cool. Racing Line and slicks on the same car.
Yeah, it's just the start of our eventual inevitable takeover.
Yeah, Jamie, if you're listening, we're kind of coming for you at this point. It's like you're actually just going to
Yeah,
belong to us by next week.
we're gonna be your team principals soon, and you're gonna drive for
We
us.
should just start creating more brands and put it on his car. Just have like 50 brands and bring lots of different
Well,
stickers.
I would love to do something like Top Gear used to do, where they'd have a stupid brand and you'd open the door and it would say Arse or something like that,
Yeah,
which would fit perfectly for this Arse episode. Well, the Arse spin off.
it would, wouldn't it?
I need to do some merch with Arse on it. I'm just now
Oh, yeah, you do
that's
the
a light bulb that's just gone off. In
yeah.
fact, I'm writing that down.
That is a very good
Where's my
idea. I like that.
so we need slicks, the racing line, Arse, some so we need some. Well, we do. That would be cool.
I can't
And
imagine
there's gonna be
wandering around a British GT paddock with a baseball cap on that just says arse across it.
why not? I think is arse recognised internationally as a funny word?
I think it's getting there with the growth of the internet, but it was definitely arse and ass before, wasn't it? Ass being the
Yes.
American one, and I don't like that. As a Scotsman, I like the R to be in there so we can roll our R's a little bit.
Yeah. When a Brit says, "Oh, you hit me in the ass," it just
Yeah,
doesn't sound right.
no, it doesn't. Arse has got a bit more feeling behind it, doesn't it?
You've watched too much Hannah Montana if you're saying ass.
I wasn't going to go with Hannah Montana, but okay, we'll go with that. Yeah, that's fine.
What were you? What were you gonna go
I
for?
don't know, but do you think Jamie's up for having arse written down the side of his car?
Is Jamie up for having arse?
I don't know. He's probably listened to this thinking that he's going to sue us now,
Yeah.
given the amount that we're talking about him and his arse.
Is this libel? We'll maybe cut this out.
I don't know. We'll get him on as a guest at some point, and that'll clear
Yeah,
it.
absolutely. Yeah. But yeah, maybe having arse down the side of the car. Maybe calling this arse wasn't a very good idea, but I just thought it was funny.
We're stuck with it now. Can't change it now. It doesn't matter if it's a good idea. Just commit and keep it.
Yeah. So there'll be some arse branding somewhere, somehow, eventually.
That just makes it sound like you're
Um,
actually getting branded with like a hot poker.
there's another idea.
That is an idea. There's the merch, isn't
That's getting written down as well.
it?
Dave, any Any other business? AOB.
I think
AO Arse B.
I don't think
AO
I
ARSEB.
don't think I've got anything for this week, but yeah, we'll probably need to decide when we're recording next and what we're doing. But yeah, nothing else for this episode. What about you?
This has been no, I'm just fighting each day as it comes.
So dramatic.
This has been an absolute car crash.
Yeah, but
But
that's why it's good. That's why people listen.
that's ours,
Yeah.
isn't it? I think we'll leave it there. If
Yep.
you enjoyed somehow, there's more episodes out there. If you like cars and bikes racing and you want to keep up with them, you should download the Racing Line app, created by Mr. Dave the Racing Line Ellis. It's quite good that you named the app after your middle name. That's quite convenient.
Yeah, my parents really had the foresight to think that I'm going to be
Yeah,
into motorsport, and they picked a proper technical term as well. I mean, they were going to go with turbocharger or intercooler, but the racing line was a little bit more classy.
yeah. That's good. When you said foresight, it reminded me of a really bad Harry Hill joke that I heard the other day, but doesn't matter. And if you like reading or looking at words and pictures related to cars, then you should probably buy Slicks magazine, available as single copies or subscriptions. Because everyone loves a subscription. No one's got enough subscriptions these days.
But I feel like a subscription to a high quality physical magazine that's going to be
Physical
delivered to your
magazine.
door is a little bit different to a subscription to
Hmm.
Amazon Prime.
That's true. Yeah. Only one is killing the orangutans.
Yeah, and what do you really want? Do you really want drop shipped some, terrible, I'm trying to think what kind of nonsense you would get drop shipped, watch strap that claims it's leather but it's actually plastic? Or do you want a really high quality magazine delivered to you with lots of great content? I mean, I say that whilst I'm sitting here with some terrible Chinese watch straps or drop ships from China. So who am I criticizing?
Dave, thank you for arsing about with me once again.
It was good chatting with you. So see you next time.
Goodbye.